I just like do a basic introduction of myself, because some of you maybe heard of some of the song titles that I wrote, but don't know who is this person, never seen this guy's face before. So let me do an introduction. I'm Eric Ng Huang Yunren. I'm a songwriter, I'm a music producer. I play a few instruments. I'm touring. I'm supposed to be touring. And I'm work with artists such as those that you see in the slide below. And this is where I'm supposed to be today, you know? With all these people. I'm touring with an artist called Zhou Huajian that I've been working with for 20 years, you know, and we just finished an album called Shao Nian, and we were so excited to start the tour. And we did 2 shows, and then that was the end of the tour. Actually, the tour had about at least 30 shows this year, you know. But then, you know, I think everybody is keeping very positive behind whatever that is happening. In every bad situation, of course, there's a good one. So we are making the best out of this, and I thought, you know, if I'm not there playing this to some of the fans out there, might as well I share with you what we actually do. Okay, so these are some of the artists that I've worked with, such as people that you see, some you might know, like Ame or Hebe or Zhang Jie, or many over the years. And a few of my recent works that was just released in these last few months is the Shao Nian album that I worked with Zhou Huajian for 2 years. It was fun. And also I released my first K-pop placement, writing and producing with a Malaysian friend, Keon. And we wrote and produced this song for Songmin from Super Junior. The album hit #1 in 13 iTunes charts all over the world for the K-pop charts. And yeah, just a good surprise, and just because I like to do this thing called writing songs. And also just last month, there's a J-pop group called Lead, and I wrote a song with a Swedish friend called Albin, and you know, we had a lot of fun. Actually, the most fun about this whole thing is, I mean, when you see all these nice glossy covers come out, or when you see the MV music video come out of the artist that you just placed for, of course, it's a very it's a really good feeling. But I think what is more precious is the journey that gets there, you know. Like I'm working with friends that I like, whether it's old-time collaborators or new friends that I meet along the way. And I think that is really the spirit of songwriting. Besides doing operating on my own, I also founded this company called Funkie Monkies Music. So we have a publishing company where me, Xiao Han, Jim, and my whole team of writers, we write for artists such as those that you see on the screen. Yeah, you probably know some of them. If you are maybe of the younger ones, you can notice that at the corner there's a group called EXO, and we have many more. And we are always looking for writers to join us. That is why we have FM Pop Music School. That is why we're having this open house today. But I just want to glance this through so that we can get to the sharing part, okay? So our students have written songs for people like Sun Yanzi, for Andy Lau, Luo Zhixiang, and many more. And students come to our school for fun. And I think that is the first thing that happens at the school, because even for me, I want to share how I started writing songs in the first place. It was all out of the spirit of fun, right? And everything that comes along is always a good bonus. So that's why today I thought I'll share this step-by-step melody composing with you guys. And also, I wanted to share something that actually started. It was sort of inspired working with my kid, my daughter, because over this whole stay-home period, there's a lot of things that we can do, you know. For us at the school, we've been working very hard, trying to make things go online, trying to make things work online. Like I said, we are musicians, so I believe there's always a way out if we are creative about it. And so far, so good. And at the same time, I'm watching my kid learning piano and drums with guided lessons from her teachers. And I noticed that, you know, she's actually improving faster than last time when she had more distractions and all that stuff. That's why, you know, me and the team were thinking about it, and why not we start this stay home learn music. It's like a crash course for anybody who's interested in writing songs or music arrangement. So if you guys are interested, you can find out more from my team below. They will be happy to answer your questions on affordable way of getting started on this stuff. Yes, so now we get onto the core of this session, which is, can songwriting be taught? Step-by-step melody composing. If you ask me, of course it can be taught, because other than these few of our students who have went on to release albums and started their own journey, we also have many other songwriters who are moving towards the backstage of the industry, doing music production, music arrangement, writing music, and teaching music and all that stuff. But I think what's more important, like I said, right, before all these things, I think every one of our students came in with the main intention of, this is something that I really like, and let's learn and let's see how far this goes. And then the journey goes on. Some might not reach it, their goal. Some will have a blast, trying to reach that goal. Or some, actually they didn't even really want to be a big, huge star or whatever. All they wanted to do is, I love music, what can I do with some words and some melodies and some beats? And I think that makes up majority of the world. I don't think anybody who, for example, when I started playing guitar, I started as a guitarist first, When I started playing guitar, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start playing this guitar so that I can earn money and tour around the world. It didn't start because of that. And I'm sure for many of you, it didn't start like that. It's like, I love this thing. How can I make it better? So that's the spirit of FM Pop Music School, and that's what we are always trying to, share with our students. So today, what I hope to get you guys to realize at the end of this session, at least, is to know, when we hear songs, we always say, oh, this song is very catchy. This song is very easy to remember. What is happening when we, as songwriters, are trying to do this thing? And then we'll share with you some commonly used terms like, oh, why do songs have structure? Why do songs have a hook? Why do songs have a motive? And various points of how should we start this writing songs. Okay, so with that, I actually ask you guys to actually share with me some song titles, because I want to know. I thought it would be cool to use some of your songs that you guys enjoy as an example, to show you guys what is it that we are thinking about when we talk about songs, So while I look at the questions, I can also share. I can share with you how I got started in songwriting in the very, very first place. Okay, I started out, like I said, I just had, it was like, while I was in college, I had time, so I thought, I saw some kids in school playing guitar, and I thought that was cool, and I didn't felt that it was very difficult. So I started learning guitar, and I started learning drums, started learning bass, and I started learning keyboards, self-taught. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was just playing around and then see what works and what not works. And I worked with a lot of different musicians. Unknowingly then, I was actually setting up my foundation as a producer. I was working with all kinds of people with different characters, and at the same time collaborating with them, drawing from their strengths, and then we create products together. But at that time, it was more like cover band, because I know there are some overseas audiences out there, but in Singapore, majority of our performing gig culture is all singing covers. So that was all I knew at that time. So we were practicing covers and all that stuff. And because of my guitar skills, I got asked to start the session for big time C-pop artists at that time, such as and now, such as Ame and Zhou Hajian and many more. There were many artists that I sessioned for. And then at that time, one of the artists was telling me that, hey, my album is going to start soon, so can you write a song for me? And then at that time, I was like, why don't you write it yourself? because I didn't know that artists didn't write their own songs, because all the artists that I enjoy and I grew up with, U2, Coldplay, Guns N' Roses, whatever it is, they all write their own songs. So this whole thing, it a light bulb blew up in my head. I was like, wow, because I'm not a guy who enjoys being in the limelight. I love the creation more than all that stuff. So I thought, wow, this is such a cool thing. I can write a song, put it in the mouth of a very established singer. That song goes everywhere. I'm not in that spotlight position, but yet I have this product that I can create. So then that was when I decided, oh, okay, this is something that I want to do. And then thankfully, that songwriting led me to a lot of other things. I think especially in this COVID situation, right, I'm very grateful that I started diversifying right at the beginning, meaning I write songs, I'm touring guitarist, I teach, I do some music consultancy and some music input or judging or whatever it is. So diversifying allowed me to, like, during this COVID situation, maybe I couldn't tour, but I can write songs and I can produce and I can teach online. So but all that opened up because of songwriting. So that's why I enjoy songwriting so much, and not just because of all the channels it gave me, but I think the most important thing is that I've always felt that, you can be the best guitarist in the world, but there will be somebody better than you. You can be the best singer in the world, there's somebody better than you. It never ends, This whole chain doesn't end. But when you create a good song, there's no such thing as the best song in the world. You get what I mean, right? You don't say, this is the best song in the world. There's no such thing as the best song in the world. There is room for good songs all over the world to exist. So that's why the time when I started writing songs, more and more I started realizing, hey, I can take this unique product of mine and let people hear it, and let people, because of that, start paying attention to my other skills. Because, for example, if you are like okay, let's say you're a music arranger or you're a guitarist, okay, you have to prove yourself way up to make sure that you're on the level of all the best things. But in songwriting, it's not say that you can anyhow get inside the industry. But what I mean is, in songwriting, there's a lot more room. So that in that sense, a lot of our school students, they came in as students and then they wrote a good song, boom, the song gets sung by a singer. It all happens by luck, timing, hard work, chance, the gods, or whatever. There's so many different factors, but the leveling field is there. The whole game is for anybody who is interested to play. So I'm sure one of the questions later on will be, do I need to learn how to play a music instrument to write a song? I would say yes and no. Yes, if you understand the spirit of collaboration, working with everybody. I have very good top liners in our publishing company who cannot really play an instrument, but can create a super cool melody, And I have music arrangers who can produce good beats, but they have problem finding a melody. Then, everybody works together and there's a complete product together. That's when you don't need to learn a music instrument. But when you're first starting out and, you want to pick it up all by yourself, then yes, a music instrument will be handy. But I will say the most important thing is the passion, okay? So now I got some song titles. A lot of Chinese songs. So okay, let me. Hey, why you laugh? My daughter laughed. Okay. Okay. Let's pick this song because I like this artist very much. And I like this artist very much. Maybe the PowerPoint might be a bit, the layout is a bit weird for this moment, but never mind, we are listening to songs, okay? What we're gonna do here, right, is I'm gonna play the chorus, and the person who named the song has to tell me what he or she thinks is the catchy part of the song, okay? Okay, it's Adrian Lin here.
Oh yes, I am. Yeah, I was trying.
Cool. No problem. Okay, so I'm gonna play the song that you suggested, which is a Chinese song. Then I'm gonna hit the chorus. Then after that, for those some some younger people maybe never heard this song before. So let's hear the song, and then after that you share with us why do you think this chorus is catchy? Okay, Adrian, why do you think this song is catchy?
Yeah, I think it's very catchy because I really like the rhythm a lot. I don't really know how to describe it. It's a bit uncommon, not the typical kinds that I tend to listen to all the other songs. And there's also a bit of, please correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not too sure. Like,
no problem.
A jazzy flavor in it, and the melody has a lot of dynamics. So I don't really know how to describe it.
No worries, no worries. That's what I wanted to share with you all later. Like, you just share what you think of the song. So you're saying the rhythm. What rhythm is in the rhythm of the melody or the rhythm of the song?
Well, that's a good question.
Okay, no worries. So what? Sorry, you say.
Yeah, I think the rhythm, the melody kind of is supported by the arrangement of the song, and I think it's a bit R&B-ish. Yeah, because David Tao is quite famous for that, and yeah, so yeah, not too sure where the main contribution of the music that made me enjoy come from. Was it the arrangement or the melody? But I guess, yeah, in general, I kind of quite like it.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what we want to do here today, right, is by the end of this session, at least y'all will be more aware of why are these earworms sticking in your head. As in why these songs are catchy, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times when our students first come in, oh, I like this song because it's catchy, like, it's easy to remember. Yeah, we are using terms that a casual music lover will describe, which is nothing wrong, of course. But if we want to start to go deeper and understand what goes behind songwriting, and then ultimately being able to create a simple melody ourselves, we should be starting to do this thing already. We're supposed to listen to various songs and then understand, oh, why I like this, why I like that, why I like that. Because why this happens, right, is end of the day, you have this whole Wikipedia. You know? I wanted to say encyclopedia, but Wikipedia for younger people maybe. If Wikipedia, right, you have this whole chunk of information that when you want to create something, you got a lot of things to draw from. Because you already know what's happening behind each melody, you can start drawing all these things. Because ultimately the things that we are writing is like a jigsaw puzzle. If you ask me, is there a real original song out there? I would say not really, because music has been around since, early 30s, 40s, until now. There's so much music going on, right? So what we as songwriters do is we draw on the influences that we enjoy, and then we, take here bits and pieces until we come out with our own melody. So that is what our role is as songwriters. And the good part about building up this whole Wikipedia or this encyclopedia of songs, right, is the more songs you listen and the more bullets, the more elements you can draw from, then that is when somebody will not be able to pinpoint exactly where is that source. And then that's when people will say, hey, this is quite original, this is quite cool. Because they cannot find where is the source anymore. For example, if somebody who just listens to JJ Lin, for example, high chances that the song will sound like JJ Lin. Or the person just listens to Ed Sheeran and nothing else. Very high chances that the song creation will be, because you cannot escape. The whole influence is there. So yeah, let's try and pick up why do we like what is happening behind songs. Okay, then is Juliet sing around? So your song is Never Not by Love. Let's hear that. Okay, so when you listen to this song, Juliet, if you listen to this song, Juliet, if you listen to this song for the third time, what's the first thing that means I'm sure you heard this song many times already, but let's say if you just heard it for 2-3 times, what is the first thing you remember about the melody?
Chorus.
So what which part of the chorus? So let's refine this.
As long as I live. It's very memorable, the lyrics, and it describes beautifully like the entire process of how this person feels about the love that he had.
But in terms of melody wise?
For as long as I love her.
Remember that, okay? So then let me just pick up one last one before I want to elaborate on the mechanics of pop music. Wow, God. Anyway, thanks. I'm getting a lot of cool suggestions. Okay, let's try 安全感 by Wang Lihong. Is Ian Chu around? I will play this song. Ian, maybe you want to share what do you think that you remember about the song? Okay, so why did I call the name first? 生气问. Yay.
Hello, yes.
Cool. So I'm gonna play the song that while Ian tries to see whether you can on your mic, okay? I'm gonna on the song that can you share with us this song, right? What do you think is catchy about it? Yeah.
I think it's the melody and also the lyrics, because the lyrics is the so it's like very easy to like catch to follow. And then the reason why this song is very popular, especially in China, and also it's also very popular among all ages of groups,
Right.
including like elderlies, as they actually uses this song to like do
exercise.
Yes. So overall, and then but I think the most important part is I think the melody itself is already very catchy.
Okay, so that's why I say now, because now we are talking like more of a music fan, right? So imagine now you want to understand more about the song, right? What is that part that you find catchy?
The chorus part.
Which one? Can you la la la?
The na 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 na.
Okay, that chunk of melody, okay, which is actually the first line of the chorus. Okay, Ian, now that we have you on board, right? So what is the part that you found catchy about the Wang Lihong song?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, great. Yeah, the part I find catchy about the song was that the first half of the song, from the hook to the pre-chorus, it's all pretty like flat. It's done in a very like low and whispery tone, and then when the chorus kicks in, he gets to like a pretty high note, and then it builds on that basically up to the second part of the song. So
okay,
I think it has a lot of contrast and then tension from there.
So I'm assuming you are a songwriter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because you are using terms that I also want to share. I would like to share with those guys who have never analyzed or written a song before.
Oh,
so
sorry.
No problem. It's good. They are mentioning terms like hook and all that. So if you talk about what's the first series of melodies you remember in the chorus, what will it be? You can la la la, you know.
The first melody. Dun, 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 dun. So it goes down and then goes up again.
Okay. So for you, it's more of the. But can you actually remember the first phrase from start to finish?
Dun, 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 dun.
The thing, thanks for everybody for your answers. Okay, so actually what I wanted to share is, let's talk about, there are certain things that makes the melody of a song catchy, you know. So back to the same question, can songwriting be taught? I would say yes, because it's actually very, very, very easy to write a song. Anybody can write a song right now. If y'all can like just I don't know, put a series just a short sentence on down there, I can try and write a song for you right now. As in just a sentence, I want to go eat Hokkien Mee or whatever, you know. I can try. Because the thing here is it's easy to write a song, but whether the song is nice or not, right? That's a whole different matter. And then that's what we, you know, teach at the school. Because writing songs is easy, but what makes a song easy to remember and resonate with people, that is our challenge every day as songwriters. So there is a difference between a hit song and just an ordinary song, you know, because if you're gonna write a song for your dog or your girlfriend or your auntie, you know, as long as there are some words that make him or her or it happy, I think your mission is achieved. You know, the song can have 45 choruses, nobody cares, because you know you already achieve your motive, you already achieve your mission of writing a song. But if you're writing a song and you're hoping that it can resonate with many people around you, that you know it will resonate until one day this person comes up and prompt you and you actually can put that song title and say this is a song that touched me, then that is a whole different ball game altogether. And I mean that's what we call hit songs, you know, like songs that really can hit you in the face, like, you know. And there's another thing about catchy melody and nice song, you know. There are some songs, right, that are very super catchy, but you might not like it at all, you know. So we have to be, first of all, be able to differentiate between all these different angles when we are listening to songs. I know if you have never written songs before, this is going to be very confusing, but you know, this is things that you can be aware of. You will actually you know, you will actually feel smarter after the whole process when next time you hear the song by TF Boys or whatever, they, oh yeah, because of blah 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 blah, you know, you can impress your karaoke friends. Okay, so the difference between writing a hit song and a normal song for anybody, for any reason or for any private reason, the difference between two of these, right, is first of all, we have to have the mentality, we have to have the right mentality when we are writing a song that we are hoping will have at least, you know, 20 million views on YouTube or whatever it is, you know. First of all, a lot of people, okay, the world is made up of musicians and the rest of them, you know what I mean? But musicians are not the majority of the world. The rest of them are the majority of the world. And the rest of these music lovers are the ones that support the musician, right? So if you want to write a hit song, you must actually, if you are a musician, you should step back and think of writing a song for the non-musician, because those are the guys who actually appreciate and lend support to you. Then with that being said, right, if I'm a musician and then I know tons of chords and then I just want to cram everything into my melody, that is a very sure way of alienating your audience. There's a very sure way of they listening and like, oh, okay, it sounds very complex, but I don't know what is going on. So first of all, if you want to write a hit song, we should be thinking simple. We should be thinking non-musician shoes, and we should be thinking that the song must have a easy structure, you know, because it's human nature. We are very used to habit. I think one of the COVID things, right? One of these COVID things that is bugging all of us, right, is we are unsure what's going to happen next. That's why everybody is very unsettled, even though, you know, hopefully in a short while everything goes back to everything is gone, but we are not sure exactly what's going to happen after that. That is the thing that makes us unsure. But when you are listening to a pop song, right, the reason why you find it so you know, such a kick, right, it's like you feel smart, you know, like when you hear a verse and a chorus, and then you hear the verse again, oh yeah, I heard that before. And then you want to enjoy it and being drawn to the song even more, and slowly you will get used to it. And then by the end of the song, you feel so happy because you can sing the song. That is a very important part, especially in Chinese pop culture. Because in Chinese pop culture, a lot of people enjoy karaoke, you know. If you go, maybe in other countries, some people listen to songs not just to sing. Some people listen to songs to feel good or go to the club and dance their ass off or whatever, you know. But in the Chinese music culture, there's a very strong karaoke culture. So a lot of people want to hear songs that they can get in, feel moved very fast, and sing it out in karaoke and impress their friends, right? So with that sense, we have to think of all these things when we want to write songs for them. It must be simple. It must have a good structure that we have this predictable structure, but yet what goes on inside is what we as songwriters can play around with. Okay, and then finally we must have a good harmony to suit it up. That means harmony for non-musicians, meaning that, you know, you have an instrument, you can play a few chords. Chords is like a few series of notes added together to complement this simple and well-structured melody. That defines a catchy melody. And then, so like I said, the melody consists of, so when we are writing songs, right, as a melody composer, I have to take care of these three things. I have to find the correct notes, the la 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 la, the notes lah, okay, and then how to pair the la 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 with a rhythm to it, right? Like Mary had a little lamb, right? Or you can do Mary had a little lamb, or Mary had a little lamb. You know, it's all the same notes, but you can pair it, those words in different rhythms to make it interesting, to make it suit your song. And then finally, you want harmony below it. That means you have to have chords. So I think that is one thing. Okay, first for all the classical musicians, I think one thing that I noticed in classical musicians is you are very used to playing the melody of the song on your right hand and chords on your left hand. All right. That is what I've noticed from what my daughter is learning. The chords are on the more center on the left hand, and the melody, there's a melody playing on the right hand. But when we talk about pop songwriting, right? If you look at pop songwriters, pop singer songwriters or bands, when they play on stage, you will notice more of the chords is centered around the mid section, which is the right hand, and the left hand is just playing bass. And the right hand is not playing the melody of the song, because then that will just distract the hell out of everybody when the person is singing. So the chords, simple chords, not the melody. The melody is supposed to come out of your mouth. The chord is the one that is the harmony that will wrap around the series of notes and groove, and that's what we do as a songwriter. So let's analyze your favorite hits. Actually, we did that already. So if we notice just now, right, from the few examples just now, there is, when I was asking some of you guys, what is it that is catchy about the song? What is it that you hear and then you immediately can sing to, right? The melody, right? So that's what in terms of in terms of melody, we call that the hook, because you will see this term used frequently if you start to explore songwriting, in melody and songwriting, or lyrics as well. The hook is the one that you hear 2 or 3 times, it hooks you into the song, and then you can remember it already. So hooks can come from anywhere, you know. But if you notice from the last 3 examples, 2 of our friends shared that the first thing the first melody they can remember is the first line of that chorus. So I would term that as the hook, because that's the first thing that I remember. Okay, but moving on, right? I want to pull out another few examples, and maybe you guys can share with me what is the hook. Okay, so I want to repeat, the hook is the first thing that you can remember. Let's say you listen to this song for 2, 3 times and then you stop. What's the first thing that you can remember about the song? Okay, so I saw one guy just now. Is that the person called Omni? Is he here? Yes, Omni is here. Okay, Omni, maybe you can try and enable your mic while I play a song of the band. You cannot explain. You like the electric guitar and the lyric. Okay, but if I were to this is Omni's response. No. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer in this exercise. So, but I wanted to ask you, if when you hear the song, or maybe anybody, feel free to just turn on the mic to answer. When you hear this song, what is the first melody that you remember in the chorus? What's the first thing that you remember?
Yeah. I actually remember the I'm not sure what you call it. This after the first chorus. There he goes into the falsettos. She's running out the door.
Okay, that is also a hook. That's also a hook. Anything that you remember from the song, we turn it as a hook. And of course, hooks are subjective. Omni, you want to say something?
I think the part I remember is da 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 da, but I don't know why it's a hook.
Yeah. I mean, anything that you can remember about the song, that's a hook. And then hooks are sometimes subjective, you know, because some things that I remember, another person might not. I might remember this part, the person might remember another part, you know. So that's the thing. As songwriters, you try and we are placing hooks everywhere in the song, and hopefully different people will catch different elements. Some hooks can be inside the melody, some hooks can be even in the music arrangement, some hooks can be in the guitar. That's why there's no such thing as a wrong answer, you know. So
sorry, Eric, so what's the hook a hook?
What do you say?
What makes a hook a hook?
What makes the hook a hook? Okay, good question. What makes the hook a hook is wait, let me put on slide. Okay. A hook is short, catchy, I mean, as in easy to remember, easy absorbable musical phrase that you repeat. So first, number one, it must be short, simple, and easy to remember. That means if I la 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 to you this piece of melody, right, you are able to register this. That's number one, okay? Number two is how to take this hook and then repeat it. Because the more once you have that nice idea, right, and then when you repeat your hooks, that's when the hook gets even more catchy. That's when the hook becomes even more memorable. So I mean, especially, okay, for those who have written songs before, you might have written songs for a while before, right? You will even notice, right? Even the concept of hooks is constantly evolving. There are hooks that might have worked in the 1990s that might not work today, and the reason why that is happening, right, is because our attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I mean, look at the TikTok generation. I think the attention span is so short until the thing can't even cross a minute, for example, right? So the way that we structure hooks has been even more simple and easy to remember. I'm going to play my daughter's favorite song. So this is the most streamed song in the Spotify universe. Okay, so anybody here can answer me. What is the hook of this song? The melody. Okay, let's concentrate on the melody. John Tan asked, hook, is it like a riff in the guitar? Yes, that can be a hook as well, because the melody the guitar will be playing a riff, which is a melody that is easy to remember, and then repeat it. That's the second important part. You repeat it, so that becomes a hook as well.
I like the part where he goes dun, 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 dun. It creates this like flow that makes you want to dance.
Then, okay, if we talk about the chorus, what is the first thing you remember? Anybody? Shape of You. Has anybody not heard of the song Shape of You? 78 people surely have heard of Shape of You. So everybody is free to answer. Why do you think this song is catchy?
Is it because like there's that regular beat and groove?
Melody, as in what is coming out of Ed Sheeran's mouth.
Right.
What do you remember about the song?
No.
What's the first thing you remember about the song when I talk about Shape of You? Okay. Okay, Adriana Lim said, I'm in love with the shape of you. Right. That's a hook, yes. And then, do you notice what is happening at the second line? Can anybody sing the second line? You can turn this into a virtual karaoke at Sheeran.
Last night you were in my room.
That's the third line. But good try, man. No. Yeah. No. Nothing wrong. It's cool. At least you tried. Wait, what can I find? Oh, yeah. I don't know the shape of you. Okay. I always like to use this example, right? Because it's like it ticks on all the first line is Maggie, you'll be key. You want to sing the second line?
We push and pull like a magnet.
Yeah. What's the melody of that?
We push and pull like a magnet too.
Okay. Then you want to try the third line?
Although my heart is falling too.
Okay.
I'm in love with your body.
Okay. Whoa. My daughter said, whoa. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so right. So if you all notice, right, the first line, it is a series of notes. We don't even care about lyrics right now, okay? Because we are talking about melody composing, right? So I'm saying second line, and then the third line, do you all notice anything? Do you guys notice?
Rhythmic phrasing.
Yes, the rhythmic phrasing. For those who won't know what is rhythmic phrasing, it means that the way that the notes and the rhythm is paired together. What about the rhythmic phrasing?
It's like similar, almost similar.
It's like similar, right?
Almost the same.
So is the if you okay, let's say if you strip off the notes, okay, the notes is the rhythm only. This is the first line and the second line. Okay, so I mean, for those who are a bit lost, this is because I'm always doing this now. So you have to get used to it. Sorry, you put in the earphone. Yeah. So you have the first line and the second line, the rhythm is the same. It's just that there are slightly small little changes in the melody, but the overall shape is the same, right? And then the third line, is also still related to the first line. You know, so if you get what I mean, right? I mean, if you start to notice a lot of songs, okay, maybe I'm not gonna talk about songs that are not hit singles, you know, because in every album that artist launches, right, there are some songs that they will push out as singles. That means usually you will see music videos of the song, and those are the songs that are really like the ones that are very, very mainstream. Then sometimes the artist will put songs inside that are not so easy to catch, but not so catchy. But the reason for those songs is because they want to spread a message maybe, and those maybe can have more room to evolve. But you will notice most of the songs that have music videos that have maybe at least like 20-30 million views, they are usually will have this very, very simple and easy to grasp thing. So that's what we talk about the hook. So there's, yes, like Irene Poe share, there's a lot of repeated rhythms and there's a lot of rhythmic notes. So with that being said, we have all these hooks, right? And then we are repeating it. So the winner is the one that can create one series of nice notes and rhythm and then repeat it so many times, but yet not make you feel annoyed, you know? Because if you look at this, if you look at Ed Sheeran's song, it's just being repeated again and again, but it's such a hit, you know? So it's the winning combination that you can repeat it. So that's number one, which actually leads me to the next what do you call that? The next thing that I want to share, which is called the motif. I actually just launched a YouTube video about 2 days talking about this motif thing. So if you are interested in that, you can watch maybe my team can put the link of the motif YouTube video where I elaborate more about motif. So the thing about this motif thing, right, is imagine you're Ed Sheeran, right? You're sitting in your bedroom and then you take a guitar and he didn't write, he wrote it with his friends and he wrote it with some collaborators, but whatever it is, imagine the first thing that you wrote in The Shape of You, for example. I love the shape of you. That is actually one pattern by itself, right? And then as we have discussed and agreed, right, that pattern gets repeated 4 times, actually 8 times throughout the whole song. It's just small little variations, but that motif just keeps repeating again and again. What we term as motif is sort of like, you know, when you look at a wallpaper, you look at a piece of wallpaper, if you look closely, some wallpapers have like a design, but when you look it from the outside, right, it's all small little designs of that same repeated patterns, you know. So in terms of pop songwriting, this motif is also a very important thing for us to understand, because what makes a song catchy is when all these motifs, when a good catchy simple motif is repeated many times. So then the next question some people might ask is the hook a motif? So in a sense, yes, because it is that first thing that first good idea that gets repeated, you know. So I mean, if along the way you're still a bit blur, right, just on your mic and ask me, okay. Our mission as songwriters is come out with, if you look through examples of the songs that, like I say, like a huge singles, right, you'll notice that maybe about 20 most of the songs that you hear, right, they're in the chorus, especially where it should be the most catchy part of the song, right, there's less than 2 at max 3 motifs running round. That means 3 concepts, 3 melodic concepts running in that chorus. The champions are the one that can use one motif and just slightly repeat the idea again and again and again and again without you feeling irritated. The shape of you is a perfect one. You use one motif and it gets repeated throughout the song. And that is the reason why, you know, songs stick in our head, you know, because it's unconscious, but you know, it's something you heard before, but I'm giving you the message and I keep changing it slightly until you get it. So a lot of beginner songwriters when come through our school, right? A lot of them begin with cramming a lot of different ideas, a lot of melodic concept all going on at the same time. Maybe the first melody is then and the fourth line is third line is dun, dun, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. For example, you have 3 different phrasing, 3 different melodies, right? It's very hard for anybody to remember at the end of the day. So usually what I will do with my students, right, is you will sit down and analyze, okay, let's look at your whole song. What is the motive that you like, that you think is the most cool? Take that motive and kill the rest off. You won't even need to kill them. You take the 2 other motives and write another 2 songs. You know, so you find the point of focus and then you try and write a super simple song. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, right, is I'm going to look through another few examples, go through another few examples so you know what I mean. But while I'm looking through, can y'all do me a favor and let's take a group photo? Since all of you are here, hey, can you on your video? Then we take a group photo. Oh yeah, definitely. Later you on your mic. Okay, I want to ask you. So that's what I was saying. Can we? Daphne, right? Are you there? What do you think of the hook of this song,
I think
Daphne?
it's the same thing. It's like it repeats. Da 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 da. Then after that, the second line is da 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 da. So it's like the da 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 repeats.
No worries. Okay, I'm going to play the chorus again because I'm sure there are some younger friends never heard this song before. Okay, can anybody just tell me how many motifs do they think is happening in this song? Maybe definitely you can start first. That means the idea. There's one idea that is repeated. How many ideas do you think are happening in this song? Try lah. No right or wrong one.
Can think of one, which is the one that I've told you.
Right? Okay, that's a very good motif, by the way. That's like a super cool and clear motif. And then repeat the thing. So it repeats twice, right? So again, you got one cool motif, you repeat twice. You got a nice hook, you repeated it twice. But then after that, it goes to so that part, right? It is not exactly the same as that. So you can consider it as another motif. So you have motif 1 that gets repeated twice, and then that's another motif, and then motif 2. Then after that, motif 1 repeat again, and then motif 2 repeats again. Do you see this pattern? So you see this pattern, right? So yeah. Then okay. So then if we go back to again the most streamed song of Spotify. So at these 4 lines, right? How many motifs you guys think is happening? Joy Chan.
I think 2.
Okay, what do you think is the 2?
The first 2 lines is 1, then the second 2 lines is another 1.
Okay, so it's here. It's still the same rhythm, you know. Second one, third line, it's still it might tweak a bit, but the whole skeleton is still that soul. You get what I mean? So it's actually these 4 lines, right? Is one motif only. Because it's all related, it's all very closely related. It's just small little variations. You get what I mean? You can hear again the first. You hear the first 4 lines. It same but different. You get what I mean?
Also because the downbeats are all like similar.
yes, I mean, yeah, the rhythm placements, first of all, the length of the phrase is the same. That is really a first thing. And then the rhythm placement is very related. They're all like relatives, you know what I mean? And then the choice of notes also all around the same place. So that's what good songwriters do. They find a way to present that first idea, which is the motif, and then repeat it 4 times. And then you're like, I heard it. To a music lover, wow, this is a very nice chorus. But to a songwriter, I had one good idea and I push it in your face 4 times, and then you enjoy it and it sticks in your head. That is I mean, so to me that's the most fun part of songwriting, you know, because it's not something that you will require like tons of music theory to understand or to do, you know what I mean? I don't need to know how to make a C major 9 13.4 chord in order to write this melody, you know what I mean? I can just, anybody, even my kid, she can just la 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 a melody out. That's one motif, you know. But then the next thing is, what do we do with motif? That motif, then that is that is more of the challenging part, you know. And so songwriting has always been super fun for me because you are really like creating something out of nothing. It is a very, very satisfying feeling, like, you know, whether you're writing alone or whether you're a bunch of friends doing this with you offline, online, whatever it is, you write the thing out. 2 hours ago, this whole thing never even existed, you know what I mean? And then this group of friends just sit there, boom, then this thing comes out, and then you're all like jumping around and enjoying yourself. That's the most fun part about songwriting to me. Okay, so I think I'll just run through roughly. Okay, in terms of structure, okay, I just want to run another thing about structure, which is, so if now you listen, now you know as a hook, you know as a motif in songs, the next thing you also got to go back and revisit all the songs, hit songs that you love, right? You'll notice that all of them have a very clear structure. You know, there will be a verse, there will be a chorus, or there will be a verse, if you guys not very sure of all this terminology, Google, you'll find out, okay? There's always a verse, sometimes there's a pre-chorus, sometimes there's a post-chorus, sometimes there's a bridge, sometimes there are choruses. So let me type this out for you because these are a few okay, let me see. The verse, the pre-chorus, these are structures that exist in many songs, and cannot escape from it. All songs that are mainstream will have a combination of all of these. I just typed it in the structure. Just type it in the chat. All the songs you love will have all these kind of structures. You cannot really run away from it. So it will be good for y'all to also identify. Actually, y'all will, if y'all really love the song, y'all will probably be able to identify this part sounds different from that part sounds different from this part. And so that's what we mean by structure, because you are putting building blocks in songs. And then, like I say, when these things repeat, that's when you get even happier and enjoy the song even more. So every successful pop songs will usually have a good structure, a good clear structure, and definitely hook so that it can draw you in. And the hook is created by a series of motifs. And the simpler the motif is, the more effective it will get into the person. But of course, if it becomes so simple until it becomes like a very bland melody, then that's where you fail also. So the balancing act that songwriters have to do is, there's a lot of things to balance around. Okay, so where do you begin? So how do you begin to write a song? Now that you understand about the stuff about structure and hooks and all that. So there are various ways of writing the songs. I think a lot of people who has never written songs before, they might have this misconception that or because you watch movies too much, you watch A Star Is Born or whatever, you get so used to like a pianist ding ding dong 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 and a guitarist playing something, and then magically a melody will come out and save the world, that is not the only way of writing a song. And I say that might even, because if you are a non-musician and you don't know anything about chords, that will be the first point that I don't know anything about chords, so I'm going to take a step back because I cannot write a song anymore. But that shouldn't stop you because there are other ways of writing a song. Okay, other than chords, you can write to a groove. You know, if any of you have a phone or a tablet with a garage band, or if anything, I'm sure you're aware, you take some drum beat and throw it onto your garage band, right? You will have this drum beat going on. You can actually just try singing something to that. Don't even care about the chords. Because like I say, if you have like-minded friends who want to explore this with you, you can ask them to help you with chords if you are not able at the moment. And there are actually even apps that will give you chords. I'm going to share this on Facebook group later so that y'all can check. There's this app that gives you suggests to you chord progressions, so it makes it even easy for you. Okay, so then the third point is actually my favorite way of writing songs, which is a cappella, which is writing to nothing. Because most of the songs that I write, right, is I'm just writing. I just have my phone on and I just la 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 something. I enjoy writing these ways because I'm not restricted to chord progressions. Sometimes I find the melody. Once I do that, I can find different chords that I never expected. And then another way of writing songs is finding songs that you like already. You know, use them as references to kickstart you in another direction. And I don't call this copying, I call this references, because you're just finding various ideas from all the songs. Then like I say, if you have a lot of references and then we write the song, then people won't be able to pinpoint where is the actual thing. And then finally, if your friend has a good piece of lyrics that you are touched and you want to write something to it, you also can try that. Or you can even take the lyrics from a hit song, like the shape of you, for example. That's an example of a very good structured format, right? You take the lyrics and you try and write a different melody over it, you know, and tweak it around so that it becomes your own. So with that, yeah, and then like I say, the good thing about this point actually, even before the COVID situation, a lot of songwriters, including me, have been working offline. So this is a good time for you guys, you know, to collab, you know, and try to find ways to realize your songs. So to recap, I hope I shared enough of what makes up a catchy melody in terms of hooks and motifs and the structure and the whole of and the concept of repetition throughout all the points and various points of how to start the song. The fact that actually a lot of successful songs out there is not the result of one person, because especially at this point where a lot of people are writing songs, teamwork is always the best way, including myself. You know, without Xiaohan, I wouldn't have started this whole thing alone. There was a lot of collaboration to fill out each person's strengths. Yes. So at this point, I can open up to some questions. Are there any particular chords you tend to avoid? This question is from Omni. Like I say, right, because I'm open to all chords as long as it complements the melody. The thing here is that to me, the melody is the most important, because I'm presenting this to the music lover, not the very not the very highly educated musicians. I'm not here to impress them. I'm here to touch people. So in terms of chords, anything goes as long as it sounds good. There are even some songs that the melody just clashes slightly the chord, but it just feels good. I'll go for it. Yeah. Ian Chu, what's the best way to get early feedback online for your song so that you see if your song has potential? Okay, Ian. So the thing here is that right now I'm presenting this workshop session through FM Pop Music School. We have another division called Funkie Monkies Publishing, where we represent songwriters. But they are not student level. They are writers who have material that is ready for us to pitch out into the market. So we have two kinds of department down there. So if you feel that your songs, if anybody here feels that your songs are ready to be pitched out into the market, as in for us to represent you and market to all the different artists, feel free to send it to us. My team can share a email below on if you have things that you feel that, yeah. How long, June T, how long do you have to take to write a melody for a song? I have never taken more than half an hour to write a song, because for me, if I feel that if 30 minutes time, right, I cannot get this thing out, right, there's something wrong with me. I will go and do something else. I will just go and write something else. I mean, I will just go and do something else, and then I come back to write a song. There is no hard and fast rule, but that's me. Everybody is different, you know. Some people will take days to write a melody, but I never had that patience. I from the beginning of writing songs till now, I've never taken more than 30 minutes to write a song. Most of the time, that's blah, blah, blah. But then a disclaimer, right, is why I can do that is because write almost every day. It's like a muscle memory already. Okay, Adrian Lin, how do you know which key to choose for the melody? Okay, if you are writing a song, that's a good question, you know, because there's a lot of times I hear songs, right, and the range of the song is like way too wide, you know. That means like the low notes is too low, the high notes is too high. And one of the common reasons is because when the writer writes the song, he or she did not choose the correct key to la 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 the song in. You know what I mean? So if let's say whoever is the singer, right, let's say you are writing a song, or your friend is writing together with you and your friend is singing, right, make sure that after you get the motive right, revisit the song in a suitable key for that person who is supposed to sing it. Because when the person is singing in a comfortable range, then it will be easier for him or her to control the melody. Otherwise, it's gonna be haywire. So find you can just write first, but when the melody is more or less set, right, find the correct comfortable key. Is it good to get feedback from Peng? Is it good to get feedback from others for a new melody song you've written? I'm thinking whether this is one way to improve one's songwriting skills. Of course, it is. You know, it's always good to get feedback from anybody. You know, but how you deal with the feedback, that's more important. You know, there are some who, I mean, if you're gonna ask your mom or your girlfriend, it's definitely gonna be a good song. Nobody's gonna say it's a lousy song. Nobody's gonna tell you that. But there might be some strangers that, you know, will say that. So it's how you take that information to your advantage. Yeah. But at the beginning, yes, it's always good to get feedback, because then instead, I always encourage people to, at the beginning, if you are at the beginning of stage of writing songs, it's like a dirty tap, you know, you're on a dirty tap and then the rusty water comes out. But after a while, the water becomes clear, right? So it's good for you to come out with a lot of rubbish first. Slowly, you will find your motives maturing and getting more shape. But the beginning process is like that, and throw it out to let anybody you are comfortable to share with, and then see what makes sense to you and make it to your advantage. Okay. Dexon asks, must demo come with instrumental? If you are talking, okay, so there's two demos you're talking about. Okay, if you are sending a demo to FM Pop Music School to ask whether you are suitable to join the course, I would say, from an educational point of view, we are here to learn. So we don't really care if you are a very super accomplished songwriter or you are a beginner. It doesn't matter, you know. Everybody is same. But if you're talking about demos that FM music publishing takes to pitch to artists such as, you know, and anybody from the K-pop to the Chinese pop to the any pop kind of industry, right? You have to take note that this is a very fun journey, that I assure you. You know, it's such a kick when an artist has only maybe 3 songs to an EP or only 10 songs to an album, and the whole world is trying to write, and then you nail one song inside. That is the best feeling in the world, okay? But then, because it's such a good feeling, right, everybody is doing it. So if you want to get your demos even near to that person, right, your demo has to be top notch. So a lot of people always ask, so what does top notch means? then I would say you go and listen to, for example, a release song by anyhow say, okay, a release song by Alin, okay. Maybe you minus like 20%. So the demo should be about 80 to 90% that standard that you're hearing. A lot of demos that we are pitching out, including my own, right, are all like almost the final. So if everybody is doing this, you as a newcomer should even be more reaching that standard, or if not higher. You know what I mean? There's a lot of song demos that I heard, right? Not all, but there are some demos that are here. The production quality and the vocals is even better than the final product. So yeah, there you go. Classes are online. Yeah, we've been doing classes online, and I think because we've been preparing ahead of this, we kind of foresee that we're going to be in this difficult situation. So we have been testing online classes with our students, and it's been going well. We're getting good feedback, and I'm glad we prepared for this. Hui Ling asks, how do we know what motif will work and what won't? Nice question. One thing, right, I always do is, if I write a song today, I think maybe 15 minutes later, half an hour later, if I cannot sing the whole song from starting to finish, right, I know there's a problem there already. You know, actually one example is was the song that we wrote for the COVID situation called Braver Together. The whole team wrote it together, and when I went back to sleep, the next day I woke up, there was part of it that I couldn't remember, you know. I was like, okay, there's a problem there. So I brainstormed with the team, and then we tweak it to where it was today. So that's the answer. If you cannot even remember yourself, Gerald Tan, I have learned a bit about modes online. Will the course include the use of various modes? And also, do we need to submit demos to join your classes? I think it depends on what class, you know. If you're talking about our usual regular classes, there are levels. There's basic, there's advanced. So for the basic one, that you don't need to submit any demo. Anybody can join. The advanced one will have more of a criteria. But for the crash course, anybody can join. But I would say that whether it's basic or advanced or the crash course, right, none of them will be teaching modes, because modes is actually, like I say, is actually a bit more of a theoretical thing in terms of music, which is a bit too far away from the market, at least, that we are trying to pitch for, which is the Chinese pop, Asian pop, mainstream level of songwriting, which I would say the more important part is the melody content, and most of the songs that we love, right, is all based on major scales or simpler scales. So no, we will not be covering modes. I prefer to play keyboard and sing. Then do it. Okay, Seng Chi Wen asked a good question. Demo includes vocal recording. Yes, every time when I am doing our classes, right, we will, or whether our other lecturers are doing classes, we will always encourage our students to submit their songs with a vocal inside, regardless of how badly they sing. Okay, I didn't start out as a singer. I'm not a singer, you know. I'm not a singer by nature, but most of the demos that I write is all have to use my voice, because the thing is that when you play the melody of your song using a piano or a guitar, there's a lot of nuances that you cannot express as clearly. So that is going to be a problem. Yes, all our demos all have a human voice inside. Whether it's lousy or not, that's not for us to judge, because we are judging the melody of the song. Okay. Is there any recommendations of mic brands that are good to use and yet affordable? There's a lot. Okay, there's a whole lot of mic brands out there. If you want convenient ones, there are two that I can think of. Like, you just have a USB, because I'm addressing this more for beginners or people who just want to play around for fun. Just a USB mic, and then you go inside your laptop and you're good to go. There's one by Bayer Dynamic called the Fox, and there's one called by Monkey Banana called I cannot remember what's the name, but yeah, those are two good microphones that I can recommend, because we have used them before. We can share the team later. We can share the model of the mic with her. Yeah, the AT 2020 of course work as well. Yeah, Billie Eilish is using it, man. What software do I use to record my written songs? My first software to write my written songs, right, is usually my phone. You know, the voice recorder. That's the first thing that happens because I want to capture my idea as quick as possible. Then for arrangement, I use Pro Tools, the software. Dexon, planning to organize songwriting camp. Yes, we hope to do so. We have had very good success actually organizing songwriting camps. We have managed to recruit writers that went on to write for Sun Yanzi and other artists through our songwriting camp. Hang in there, and we will definitely want to do something. Any free software app similar to Band in a Box to create backing track for starters? I would say GarageBand, because you can just throw in backing tracks very quickly. Band in a Box, maybe it might be a PC thing by Q. This question is by QL. Band in a Box is on a PC, maybe, I don't know. But for Mac is GarageBand. So there's a lot. There's a lot of software you can play around. And even Logic by Apple is not too costly, but yet is used by many professionals. What's the favorite song you have written? Want to analyze? By Ian Chu. What's the favorite song I've written? I don't really have a favorite song, but I'm always very happy to share that like the songs that I've written that got the most mainstream success. Like for example, the Ame, there's a song I wrote for Ame called 人质, and there's the song that I wrote for the Super Junior Songmin guy called I Pray, and song by Tanya Chua called 无底洞, and 纸飞机 by Sandy Lam. Like for example, these 4 songs, right? When I wrote them, I wasn't thinking of satisfying the charts. I wasn't thinking, oh, I need this song to resonate with a lot of people. I mean, even though by default, we as professional songwriters think this way. We want to reach out as many people as we can, right? But when I was writing these 4 songs, right, I didn't really think exactly of this. I wrote this song because I felt happy doing it. I felt that this thing is cool and it's not exactly like any other song that is out in the mainstream market. Like for example, if you hear my first K-pop song, it's not an electronic song, it's actually a ballad, which is not a mainstream in the K-pop thing. When I wrote Ame's 人质, it is a folkish kind of very non-dramatic song, which at that time was very common in the Chinese mainstream ballad culture. It was a very quiet ballad, but yet it got me a lot of attention. So I think these are the songs. If I want to analyze it, I would say that I'm always happy that the songs that I'm known for are those songs that I wrote without that I need this fame culture. You know, it's like it just happened because I love songwriting. Yeah. Okay. Maybe one last question. Okay. Benjamin Lee. Does different structure require different motifs, or stick to one but changing of melody based on the lyrics? That's a very good question because right, that actually is a extension. One more point about songwriting is that if you notice songs right on the market, right, yes, there's structure, but within every structure, let's say for the verse or the pre-chorus or the chorus or the post-chorus, every section, every building block got to be in its own world. You cannot have one motif in a verse, the same motif in the chorus, same motif in a bridge. It will be a very boring song because people will not feel that they have evolved. The secret of writing songs is that it's like a journey. It's like an advertisement. It's like a nice advertisement. You're watching it and it goes on a journey, and every part is evolving. Every part has its own world. That's why you're hooked into it. You're hooked on the first building block to go into the second one, to the third one, to the fourth one. So every section of a song has to have their own motif. You cannot just stick to one. Yeah. Yeah, I think the team. What do you think? Do you think that's enough?
Yep.
Okay, so am I supposed to? Do we want to take a group photo again or no need?
I think it's okay. I took the group photo earlier.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you guys find this thing useful. Yeah, we really did this is because of everybody staying home. Might as well go and learn something, you know. Yeah. So thank you very much. Yeah. If any other questions, feel free to ask in the chat, or I mean not in the chat, maybe in the Facebook group. If we have time, maybe next time we can do something like that again. I enjoy this, and I always like to hear new songs. So thanks.